one of the major defenders of liberalism, as you know, is sex pestiny, molestiny, child molestiny, also known as the streamer destiny. Now, for many, many years, through unlimited envy and anger and resentment, this person has decided that that I was the number one villain that was creating a real threat that might tackle American democracy. Okay? What's interesting about that, of course, is that in the process of designing me for his own cult-like community as the number one enemy, he basically took on positions that were diametrically opposite to mine, including but not limited to being a supporter of Israel and its genocide, right? But also aligning with a lot of people that wanted to kill me, including pedophile neo-Nazis such as Sam Hyde and also pedophile neo-Nazis such as Nick Fuentes. He quite literally turned around and hung out with Nick Fuentes and propped him up when he was an irrelevant character, an irrelevant side character. He gave his phone number to all these other podcasts and whatnot. He didn't care because he is a debate mercenary, if you will. He didn't have any sort of real ideology. And while he was doing so, for years and years, he used this community to find whatever they could to negatively frame me, to present me in a false light through a somewhat sophisticated smear operation. This operation also obviously took new light and a renewed strength when he associated himself with Zionist groups in this country that are also just as insane, but this time with a level of institutional, with a level of institutional control and influence. A big part of the clips that are flying are all around the internet right now about how violent I have been came from his community, right? They've been at this game for quite a while to limited success. It hasn't really worked at all, right? He's aligned with the likes of Ethan Klein. That backfired spectacularly on him. And members of his community have also aligned with far-right figures that have also ended up hurting them in the aftermath of their association. But now, one of the last allegiances that they had put together is also backfiring on them. Here's Loner Box and Dan Saltman, who spent a year branding me as a terrorist supporter over my Palestine advocacy and lobbied congressmen to take action against me, worrying about how those exact same congressmen now want to throw Destiny in jail. Let's take a look at this video.
So, like, congressmen are tweeting at the FBI telling them to investigate Hasan and throw him in jail, and the same thing with Destiny.
That's kind of insane. Yeah.
It's not kind of insane. It's
yeah, it's very insane. Yeah, it's very bad. It's very insane. Yeah. Yeah, it's not good.
They literally engaged in fascist censorship attempts when they thought it would eradicate the left, that it would eradicate my support, it would get me deplatformed. And now those exact same, including Elon Musk, who was recently retweeted, who recently retweeted Dan Stalkman for a clip compilation that Destiny's community had created that Tectone posted. That very same Elon Musk is now saying Destiny should be arrested. Phil Labonte, if you just saw Destiny endorse political violence today, be advised that this is not a one-time thing and it's not new. Let him say what he wants, but then also pay the price under the law. Elon Musk, I don't think this jackass should be banned, but Amazon should stop paying him to incite murder. That's insane. Separately, incitement to murder and domestic terrorism is a felony crime. For that, he should go to prison. He can resume streaming when he has served his term. The chickens are coming home to roost. They thought he got recently banned, by the way. Yeah, I saw this. He said, unreal, Elon Musk and other conservatives just got me banned from Twitch. My entire income is gone now. So much for the party of free speech, which, of course, happened a long time ago. Okay? And it's ironic because the reasons why he got banned, if conservatives knew, they would probably actually defend him. At the time, they may have. I don't even remember. But it was an endless torrent of not so liberal commentary that he was engaging with. whether it be attacking trans people or whether it be demanding that white supremacists drive over Black Lives Matter protesters because he was worried that BLM protesters were actually going to ruin Joe Biden's chances of winning the 2020 election. Of course, Laura Loomer is one of the dumbest morons out there and ate the bait and said, you should have thought about that before you decided to justify political violence. They're so stupid. And Representative Anna Paulina Luna said, I have forwarded this to the FBI for investigation. Inciting violence and murder. This guy's disturbed and unhinged, needs to be investigated.
Flash out the crime statistics? Not exactly like...
You need conservatives to be afraid of getting killed when they go to events so that they look to their leadership to turn down the temperature. The issue is right now, they don't feel like there's any fear. Like, I don't know. It's like memes. It's just memes to everybody, I guess. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't care. I'm playing video games. Okay, I'm done today. I don't give a fuck. God, it's gonna be so fucking gay if I get killed in the next fucking 2 months of shit I'm doing. Well, the cuck shit here. Please don't anybody make any actual, the most cucked, weak ass speeches on my side. God, if it happens, holy shit, I'm gonna make a death note before I go out to go live and not. God, it's so cucked. It's so optics cucked.
After spending years and years saying some of the most heinous, insane, unhinged shit over and over and over again, and routinely also, to be fair to him, giving it to the Republicans as well, including, but not limited to, talking about the firefighter that got shot behind Donald Trump in terms that really frustrated a lot of conservatives, and openly spending every waking moment, becoming even more unhinged. Like when he went on the Piers Morgan show and said this, Destiny just said the quiet part out loud, this conservative says.
I think that liberals need to wake up and finally realize that if they're not willing to do it, it will never come down. If you wanted Charlie Kirk to be alive, Donald Trump shouldn't have been president for the second term. Every time he's in office, this happens. People joked about when Biden came in, it was so boring, nothing was going on. 7 out of 10 of the largest protests in American history have happened under Donald Trump. I think that liberals need to wake.
And now Tim Pool is farming him as well. Liberal calls for the death of conservatives following the Charlie Kirk assassination. He did 20 minutes on this. And Donald Trump Jr. is posting about it, saying this is the mainstream of the Democrat Party. I don't even know what the to say. These are literally using Destiny's Communities clips because they couldn't find anything. They couldn't find anything recent of me saying anything that's even remotely advocating for violence or anything like that specifically. And I know they're looking. I know that right-wing groups are currently desperately looking for anything that they can tie me back to Charlie Kirk in a violent manner, right? And DGG basically gave him all of the that is readily available out there, all this like false framing, all this out of context. But then those very same forces that these guys often collaborated with are now coming after Destiny as well because he can't be normal ever. He always gets in his own goddamn way. At least the energy is spent not trying to kill you. Oh, there's plenty of energy against me too. Let's be real. Do you think everything he said is covered by free speech? Yes, I do. I do. Not the death threats against you though. What do you mean? No, ultimately, I think like everything that Destiny is trying to say here is obviously very clearly, everything that he's saying here is incisive deliberately. But what he's very clearly trying to say is that like Donald Trump needs to lower the temperature. Okay, that's what he's trying to say. Is it like it's ridiculous for liberals to cave and capitulate to demands of lowering the temperature when the main figure in American politics, the goddamn president, is not doing so at all and is using this tragedy as an opportunity to stamp out any sort of political dissent. Like that's what he's implying.
Investigation has now established that he had been radicalized by a leftist ideology, which drove him to do this.
Popular streamer Destiny refused to condemn the assassination of Charlie Kirk, says you need conservatives to be afraid of getting killed. On Piers Morgan, I won't condemn anything until Trump can go on air and say all of us need to calm down. On stream, you need conservatives to be afraid of getting killed when they go to events so they look at their leadership to turn down the temperature. Yeah, I mean, we watched both of these clips. That's basically what he said, yes. And he said this recently, for the record. He said this recently. Why is he rage baiting? Because he is a nihilistic debate mercenary that doesn't give a he thinks you shouldn't be optics cucked, which of course in many circumstances implies that you can, as a white guy, say the N-word, for example. Okay, like it's totally irrelevant and unproductive ways in which he advocates for certain things. Like, it's just stupid. He's ultimately a nihilistic edgelord. And as someone who is nearing 40 years old, he just runs around and is like, ooh, I'm saying bad words that you're not supposed to say. I'm saying bad things that you're not supposed to say. And he wears that as a badge of honor. Yeah, he's the closest you can get to being a liberal groiper, literally. It's just very stupid. It's also been an abject failure. His own son is a Nazi. His own son that he refused to educate and refused to look after because he's too busy frolicking around trying to procure child sexual abuse material from random Discord e-girls. In the process of doing that, he literally created a Nazi son, a Groiper son. That's what happened. So it's an abject failure. Give me a goddamn break. And now here we are.